I turned off the Wi-Fi in my house last night. Not temporarily, not for a test. I actually disconnected it. And what I discovered in the hours and days that followed terrified me more than any artificial intelligence I've ever conceived, more than any rocket launch I've ever sweat through. It's a silent poison, and it's already in your home, flowing through the very air you breathe. Have you ever felt it? That low-grade hum of anxiety after mindlessly scrolling through your phone before bed? That sudden spike of anger about something that happened 1,000 miles away, involving people you will never meet? That creeping sense of dread that settles in your stomach for no specific reason you can name? You are not imagining it. You're not broken. You are being programmed. And I'm recording this to show you how to break free. This isn't about radiation or hidden frequencies. It's about something far more insidious. An endless, algorithmically engineered stream of emotional poison delivered directly into your home, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the main pipeline for this poison? Your Wi-Fi connection. It's about what's flowing through that invisible connection every single second, an endless torrent of toxicity that's poisoning your home, your mind, and your family. Let me explain how I realized this. 2 weeks ago, I was sitting at dinner with my children. We were all physically present at the table, which itself has become a rare and precious event. But something felt profoundly wrong. The conversation was strained, surface level. Everyone seemed distracted, their minds elsewhere, even without their phones physically in their hands. It was like sitting with ghosts who were tethered to a digital world just beyond our walls. My daughter, who's 15, seemed particularly anxious. When I asked her about it, she didn't mention a problem at school or a fight with a friend. She mentioned a geopolitical conflict she'd read about online, then a celebrity scandal that had made her angry, then something polarizing in politics, then a natural disaster somewhere on the other side of the globe, and then a story about a shooting. It was a relentless cascade of crises, a highlight reel of the world's suffering, and she had absorbed all of it in the 30 minutes she spent online before coming to the table. She was carrying the emotional weight of the entire world. Then I looked at my 12-year-old son. He was quiet, withdrawn, which isn't like him at all. When I pressed him, he admitted he'd been reading comments on a video he'd posted online, a simple video of him showing off a model rocket he built. "Some people said mean things," he explained, looking down at his plate. "Really mean things. About me. About how I look. About everything." Here was my son, proud of something he had created, being torn down by anonymous strangers from who knows where. I sat there, looking at my children, and realized with a sickening clarity, they are carrying the weight of the entire world's problems. Every conflict, every tragedy, every piece of negativity from across the globe was flowing directly into our home, into their developing minds constantly. And it was all coming through our Wi-Fi. That night, after they went to bed, I started paying attention to my own behavior. I picked up my phone to just check a few things before sleeping. Within 10 minutes, here's what I had consumed. A news article about political corruption, an opinion piece that made my blood boil, a social media thread where people were viciously arguing, images from a natural disaster, a story about rising crime, someone's angry rant about how everything is getting worse, another argument about something I don't even care about, tragic news about a stranger's death, more political outrage, more conflict, more anger, more fear. I put the phone down and realized my heart was racing. My jaw was clenched. I felt anxious, angry, and deeply pessimistic about the world. And I hadn't even been online for 15 minutes. This is what's coming through your Wi-Fi. Not just information, emotional contagion, anxiety, fear, outrage, conflict, an endless stream of content designed by the most brilliant minds of a generation to trigger strong emotional responses. Responses, because that's what keeps people engaged, clicking, scrolling. The next morning, I did something I'd never seriously considered before. I gathered my family and said, "We're trying an experiment. No Wi-Fi for 1 week." The reaction was immediate and intense. "What? Dad, that's insane! How will we do our homework? How will we talk to our friends? What are we supposed to do?" My children looked at me like I had just announced we were moving to another planet. Their distress was genuine, which in itself was alarming. They were experiencing a form of withdrawal. Frankly, I felt it too. The first day was chaos. Everyone was bored, irritable, pacing. They didn't know what to do with themselves. But by the evening of that first day, something started to shift. Without the ability to scroll, to check, to consume endless content, they started doing other things. My daughter picked up a book, an actual, physical book she'd been meaning to read for months. My 12-year-old son found his old skateboard in the garage and asked if he could practice outside. My 9-year-old built an elaborate city with Legos, a world he was creating himself. At dinner, the conversation was different, longer, deeper. Nobody mentioned global crises or online drama. They talked about their actual days, their actual experiences, their actual thoughts. I noticed something in myself, too. Without the constant news updates, without the social media feeds, without the endless stream of content designed to provoke emotional reactions, I felt calmer, more present, less anxious about things I can't control anyway. By day 3 of our Wi-Fi free experiment, my daughter said something that struck me. I didn't realize how stressed I was all the time until I stopped being online constantly. It's like I was carrying everyone else's problems. That's exactly what she was doing, what we're all doing. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. For thousands of years, humans dealt with problems in their immediate environment. Your tribe, your village, your community. That's the scale of concern we evolved to handle. Now, we're concerned about conflicts on the other side of the planet. We're anxious about political battles we have no influence over. We're angry about things we saw online from people we'll never meet. We're carrying the emotional weight of thousands of sources simultaneously, and it's destroying us. By day 5 of our Wi-Fi free experiment, I noticed profound changes in everyone. My kids were sleeping better. They seemed less anxious, less irritable. Family time felt more connected. Nobody was having anxiety about what they were missing online because they couldn't access it anyway. But here's what really struck me. The world didn't end. Nothing terrible happened because we weren't constantly connected. The important things, actual relationships, actual problems, actual life, all continued just fine without Wi-Fi. This experiment has fundamentally changed how we live. We're not going back to unlimited Wi-Fi access. Instead, we have specific times when it's available, a few hours in the evening for necessary things like homework help or keeping in touch with distant family. But most of the time, it's off. And you know what? Nobody's fighting me on it anymore, because they felt the difference too. What's coming through your Wi-Fi isn't just information. It's anxiety, fear, outrage, and toxicity. And we are all voluntarily opening our homes to this constant stream of emotional poison. We act like staying constantly informed is a virtue, like consuming endless content is somehow productive or necessary. But it's not. It's a choice. And often it's a choice that is stealing our peace, our presence, and our time.